Right, on the south today, Dunedin's weather has been the polar opposite of the cyclone up north, with the dry spell concerning some. Otago University students gear up for a week full of partying with the return of a popular event. And some rarely seen relics chug their way through Brydone to show off the antiques. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Hannah Wilkins. While the North Island is battling storms and a torrential downpour, the South Island is feeling the heat. Staff at Dunedin Botanic Garden are praying for some rain, with an early dry spell causing some concern.
This yellowed grass and drooping leaves are the telltale signs of a dry environment. Dunedin's Botanic Garden is feeling the effects of a recent heat wave in the South Island, with staff struggling to keep many of the plants well nourished.
Yeah, well, it's not unusual for us to be dry, but to be dry this early is very unusual. So it's normally April that we're normally getting dry, but this year we've just got no moisture in the subsoil, and just plants are really starting to suffer.
A lack of large rainfalls in Dunedin have put the city under voluntary water usage restrictions, with garden staff now carefully prioritising which plants to water.
But we're still having to concentrate more on probably the evergreen stuff, that stuff that, you know, it's been here for 50, 60 years that we don't want to lose. So we're being very specific about what we water. Whereas herbaceous plants, we know they can go dormant, so we'll start cutting those back.
Dunedin is expecting some rain this week, and staff are hoping for around 50 millimetres over 2 or 3 days.
We're praying for rain. We've been praying for rain every week, and we may get a little bit to the tail end of the cyclone that's coming through, so we're praying for a little bit of moisture, but we actually need significant rain now to actually get the moisture back up in the subsoil.
But with Met Service forecasting no major downpours for Dunedin in the near future, it'll take more than a light sprinkle to make this grass greener again. In Dunedin, the South today.
Meanwhile, an important piece of seismic technology is being installed in Christchurch's Botanic Gardens. A team wants to monitor how the different layers of the earth react in an earthquake, a topic which has international interest.
This giant geoprobe drilling machine is breaking the normal tranquility of Christchurch's Botanic Gardens. The heavy equipment's being used to bore a hole deep into the earth behind the garden's seismic observatory. Experts from the University of Canterbury are carrying out research into how soils react when an earthquake strikes, in partnership with the Christchurch City Council and GNS Science. 2 sensors are being installed, one at ground level and a second 30 metres below the surface to measure how the ground shakes during a quake.
So the bottom sensor is situated in the rickety and gravels, so we would expect that to behave differently to the surface sensor, which is on top of all the liquefiable material. The difference in movement between those two sensors is what we're after.
That information will help reveal how the liquefied material was behaving in an earthquake, with the team collecting data from the seismograph.
Basically, we're going to wait for hopefully a very small earthquake to happen. What that will allow us to do is to be able to understand how the shaking that we see at this site is represented by the shaking that happens down in the ground at depth 30 metres in this case.
Learning the extent of liquefiable soils across Christchurch City is important information for scientists and earthquake researchers.
So if we're able to predict what the ground motion will be in different parts of the city, we can start to understand what the design of a building should be able to cope with in terms of the sideways shaking that a building will experience.
The information won't just be of interest here in Christchurch, with collaborators coming from all around the world to partner with local researchers, due to the importance of what happened in the city's urban centre. In Christchurch, the South today.
A row of vacant Dunedin shops with a colourful past have met their ultimate fate as demolition work commenced on Lower Rattray Street. A digger was busy demolishing the terrace after Tony Clare, director of Philip Lang House Limited, announced his intention to clear the site for development late last year. The row of shops most recently housed a leather workshop and a massage parlour, but back in the 1960s and 70s, it was the site of a successful restaurant and cabaret. However, the buildings have gradually fallen into disrepair, with tenants reporting crumbling masonry and infestations of pigeons and mice. The Dunedin City Council raised concerns over demolition by neglect in the area, although a 2021 inspection by a structural engineer found the buildings were still structurally sound. Students studying in Dunedin are preparing for another year of learning and partying. Orientation Week starts on Monday, creating a buzz around the university campus after muted Ori celebrations in recent years.
Forsyth Bar Stadium packed full of students during previous O-Week celebrations. Now the Otago University students OUSA are getting ready to kick Ori 23 into gear, as students from around the country make their way to Dunedin. The festivities start on Monday, and staff and students are excited after COVID-19 cancellations disrupted welcome events over the last few years.
So it's great to be back. It's great for students who've had 3 years of COVID-fueled learning to be able to come back and experience university how it was when I started.
He says there's a buzz across Studentville and at the OUSA office over the return of O-Week. They're especially excited about hosting 2 big international headline acts, with Young Gravy and Netsky both hitting the stage next week.
Yes, everyone's very excited. I know in the office everyone's really excited to put on a proper event. You see everyone on campus getting into the swing of things already. There's a sense of excitement in the air.
Celebrations start next Monday, alongside Tent City on the museum lawn, with the popular Toga Party beginning the lineup of live concerts from Wednesday. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Otago University is warning students around potential delays to the academic year due to cyclone Gabrielle preventing some North Islanders from travelling. Otago Vice-Chancellor Professor David Murdoch sent out an email to all students yesterday acknowledging the effects of the cyclone on those travelling to Dunedin. While the southern city is unaffected by the stormy weather, many North Island airports are working around flight delays and cancellations due to the strong winds and flooding. The university campus is still operating as normal, with students moving into flats and halls this week, but management admits there could be delays if the situation changes. Otago Polytech says they've also had a number of inquiries from students whose travel plans are being disrupted due to the cyclone. Some rarely seen relics of an age gone by have been chugging their way around Brydone near Invercargill. The Southland Steam Club Working Weekend saw traction engines, tractors and other antique working vehicles dusted off for the public to enjoy.
Tiny model tractors and giant traction engines, each one lovingly restored and maintained by members of the Southland Steam Club. The annual open day gives the public a chance to see these classics of the steam age up close and the opportunity to hitch a ride. Club members say their efforts are all about preserving history.
Keep the steam scene alive, basically. Yeah, educate people as much as we can, and where we can we try and encourage new people to join the club as well.
Coal power was also at the heart of the kitchen at this steam-themed extravaganza.
We've got an old coal range set up, and basically we've been cooking grilled scones and pikelets, that sort of thing. So just as your grandma would have back in the day in her house, probably, yeah.
He says some of the vehicles, like this 98-year-old Marshall engine, required thousands of hours of work to get them running again. The popular event's now in its 10th year, with all funds raised going towards keeping the club chugging along. In Gore, the South Today.
FA Yakane still to come on the South Today. An electrifying turnaround for the Otago Volts secures a spot in an all-important elimination final, and a Gore Cricket team prepares to finally meet their match in Dunedin's Women's League.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Aero, used by Australia's top bowlers with their unique Z-scoop grip that redefines the game. Machined with robotics for unparalleled accuracy, Aero, same line, every time.
This is the big one. My mate John's taken 25 to 75% off everything. No exclusions and no exceptions. It only happens once a year, and this time it's bigger than ever. This is the big one. My mate John's massive annual sale. 25 to 75% off everything. Only at John's Furniture Warehouse, Stafford Street, and online.
Where did you get that furniture from? Stafford Street. And my mate John.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Hi, we're Age Concern Otago.
Age Concern Otago hosts a multitude of social activities, including indoor walks.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. The Otago Volts cricketers have staged a late season turnaround to secure a last-minute spot in the Ford Trophy elimination final. Volts captain Hamish Rutherford led by example at the University Oval, hitting 120 runs off 104 balls to help seal a decisive win against Northern Districts. The visitors had batted first, setting Otago a run of 241 runs, which they comfortably chased down in just 37 overs. The win leaves the Volts in third place in the competition after a disrupted season where many matches were cancelled or abandoned due to weather. Otago will now face Canterbury this Friday in Queenstown in a sudden death round to decide a spot in Sunday's Ford Trophy final. After years of no fair competition, a Gore Cricket team has finally met their match. The Mermaids have been playing against all-boys sides due to a lack of suitable rivals, but are now heading to Dunedin to play in a female league.
Clean bowling, their new competition, as the Mermaids celebrate their first wicket in their new league. After years of playing against boys, the Southland region team has taken up the opportunity to play in the Division 2 Dunedin Cricket Female League. They lost their first game to the Dolphins by 68 runs over the weekend, but their coach is happy for the girls to be playing on a more even field.
Give them a girls' competition is, yeah, it's good. They appreciate the fact that they're going to be playing against like-minded girls and as opposed to buff-headed boys.
Many of the girls have played club and represented Southland together since they were in Year 8. Player Ruby McPherson enjoyed her first game, as well as having even competition and a more social aspect to the matches.
The competition, like all the games are real close and yeah, meeting new players.
The Mermaids will play weekly at Hamilton Park, with Dunedin teams agreeing to travel to Gore every week for the games. In Gore, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Dunedin Botanic Garden staff are praying for rain after water restrictions and dry spells leave plants malnourished. Full orientation week preparations are underway at Otago University after a 3-year break due to COVID-19. And the Southland Steam Club has held a working weekend, dusting off their machinery for the public to enjoy. Time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, a high pressure ridge will push on to southern districts tomorrow and Friday, bringing fine or clearing weather for the next few days, but a front will arrive on Sunday with some rain. Heading to the top of the South Island. Nelson can expect southeasterlies with 19 tomorrow. Greymouths is warm and windy with gusty southeast winds and a high of 22. While Christchurch can expect southwesterlies and showers with 17 degrees. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago. Cloudy with southerlies and 17 degrees tomorrow as we come down and along the east coast for Ashburton, Timaru and Oamaru. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes. A fine day with light east to southeast winds. Expect 21 degrees in Wanaka, 22 over in Queenstown and 19 with some cloud in Alexandra. Heading further south. A fine day with light winds through here tomorrow with moderate to fresh southeasterlies. Expect 18 degrees in both Balclutha and Gore with a cloudy 16 with southerlies in the Catlins. And down to the deep south. Cloudy tonight in Invercargill, dropping down to 8 degrees. The next 2 days are shaping up to be sunny with some patches of cloud and light southeasterlies. Expect 18 degrees tomorrow and 19 on Friday. And finally, heading to Dunedin. Overcast with showers, gusty winds and 12 as the overnight low. Showers clearing tomorrow with cloud breaking around midday to open up a sunny afternoon with fresh winds, the high 16 degrees. Into Friday, it's looking fine with a mix of sun and cloud with southeasterlies and a high of 18 degrees. And that's the news this Wednesday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. We'll see you again tomorrow. Ka kite o pōpō.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.